Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Two gals on the prowl for enlightenment, sex, and all things holy. Holy fuck. Each week, beauty alchemist and transformational coach and speaker, Catherine McClelland, and spiritual healer and life coach, Krista Kim, discuss navigating spiritual consciousness in a real human body. Stumbling through dating, relationships, and everyday life, all while maintaining a fucking sense of humor. Welcome, everyone, to the Holy Fuck podcast. This is Krista.
This is Catherine. Good morning, Krista.
Good morning. This is an exciting day.
It's an exciting day. We're both all purty and perky today.
Yes, we are. We are putting our big girl panties on today.
Heading downtown.
As much as I've tried to stay away from those panties, it's apparent that they're coming on anyways.
Yeah. It's that day, ladies.
And gents. Oh, that's funny.
We both did it.
Yeah, you know, when Catherine and we decided to start the podcast, I guess I don't want to speak from you. It was decided for us. But when that happened, I don't know if this is how you felt about it, but it was like, I thought, well, this will be a really great opportunity for my clients or potential coaching clients to hear a taste of what I do, hear my voice, hear how I work. And so if you and I do this podcast, then I'll have some cute, interesting, educational information on my website, right?
That's it.
Is that what
cute, interesting information?
Okay, maybe it was a little more than that. Those are some very shitty words to describe myself.
You're a little hardcore this morning. We have to go to the bank today, you guys.
Oh God, and
we're hardcore when we have to go to the bank.
But I guess my point in that is that like we were doing it for fun with really no purpose other than give people a taste of what we do.
Exactly.
And then as we started along this process, we realized, it's really not that easy to start a podcast. We thought, you just plug in, record it, post it, and you're done.
Yeah, all these people would just show up.
Right. And what happens is, now you need microphones. Oh, and now you need a computer that can handle all of the big storage of the data. And now you had a sound glitch. Okay, who's going to fix that? Then you need
Ken Arrows. Do you guys love that name? Arrows.
We sure do.
He's our guy.
Yeah. And so it was like all these little issues or challenges would come up for us of like, how do we do that? And I think by the time we were about 10 episodes into it, it was kind of like, wow, if we would have known it was going to be this hard, like we probably wouldn't have done it. So it's kind of a good thing that, it happened the way it happened.
Yeah. And also just the capital, right? The money that it costs to do some of these things. And we were not really thinking that. We're like, this is a low budget thing we can do. Just work out of my house, which we're still doing, thank God.
I think we will always do this.
I hope so. One of the funniest things is that we're facing is that with a new business, you think you've thought of everything you can think of because you're trying to be an organized business person. You're not just trying to shoot from the hip. But there's always things you can't see when you start something that are going to show up later. It's like your horizon gets...
Especially when you don't start it from the perspective of starting a business.
Right. Because we were doing it as sort of maybe a marketing thing. Like, this will help our coaching businesses, which we're taking way more time.
This is becoming our
main business, apparently. And coaching, yeah.
And so, that's interesting too, is because that's what happened. We get a couple of episodes into it and then we get to the launch part. And then we are getting the feedback from everybody, and it's like, this is bigger than we thought or anticipated. And then our wheels start turning, and then we start investing a little bit more time and a little bit more energy and a little bit more creativity and a little bit more money. And then all of a sudden, it's this entity that has arrived. It's a thing, and now it has to be managed.
And now we have to take care of it too, right? So there's what we're doing today.
Holy fuck baby.
It's our holy fuck baby. And this morning, we have to go do the things to protect it. in some ways, right? It's not, so now it's a vulnerable thing. It's like a thing that's vulnerable. So we have to go, we're going to go register our business, and we're going to go to the bank, and we're making these
a bank account.
All those things that, of course, if you were thinking of starting a business, you'd probably think. But, sometimes it's good to try it on backwards. Sometimes it's good to surprise yourself that actually something you're doing is going to be a thing before you do all that work up front. Like if I'd known I had to do all this work up front, I might have been like, Krista, I'm too busy on my coaching business. I'm writing my book, which we haven't talked about, but I'm too busy. If I just, Krista's like, no, we'll just get together. We'll sit down. We'll just chat it up, which is what we did the first few times. And then
still kind of maybe do that.
Well, we absolutely do it because that's how it's still fun for us. And we're only doing this until it stops being fun.
And then we're out of here.
So
keep it fun for us,
Keep it fun. Yeah, it's your job. One of the ways we keep it fun is by scaring the crap out of ourselves pretty much every time we're here. So hopefully you've noticed that we are doing that.
Yes, there have been some very terrifying moments lately for me.
In the inner terrain we're talking about. We're not like lighting fires while we're burning the house down around us.
Yeah, I mean, because there's the business component of it that we are in the process of building, and which means there's an element of, wow, we have to take ourselves seriously as businesswomen and as empire builders. I love that.
I do too. The empresses have arrived. Yeah. We're building our empire.
Because I know I've had a lot of people say to me, like, well, why do you need a bank account? And it's like, well, because Catherine and I were just starting to plan our first retreat weekend and realize, like, we don't even have a way to take the money.
We can't take your people's money.
That's
retreat weekend. Ooh, think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Retreat weekend. It's coming soon. We're going to let you know a little bit more soon.
But that's what's so interesting. It's like we can have these big visions and these things we want to do, but if we don't have the structure in place, or if we haven't taken ourselves seriously enough to invest in ourselves, then the structure isn't there for us. The container isn't there for us for all the goodness to go into.
I remember when I was first doing healing work and I hadn't thought about how I was going to take money. I just never thought about it. I had an office. Right. I invited people in. People started coming. And they're like, how can I pay you? I'm like, cash or check, apparently. Like run home and figure out how can I use that little weird square thing? And I see other people using it.
Yeah, it's not easy.
People like to use their credit cards.
Yes, they do.
We like to use our credit cards.
Yes, we do.
You can tell if you've ever looked at our credit report. Oh, I'm just kidding. But we do like to use our credit cards. And we know it's a convenience, and we want everybody to have the same convenience we have. So we have to figure that out. We have to sort it out. The point of what we're talking about this morning is not that we're like making you go through the boring details of our business. It's that we're trying to show a way in which this is self-respecting. This is us respecting our empire we're building. We don't even know what it looks like yet. We got into bed and we're like, whoa, we're in bed together. Like, lucky we love each other a lot. No, did I call you a hoe also? Oh my God, now we're in bed and you're a hoe. Well, that's not exactly what I meant. But what I'm saying is we have a lot of things to attend to that we're just starting to realize. We've been lucky. We're good people. We have the same philosophy of life, and we love each other.
Everything has really been seamless so far, meaning that it seems like whenever we need something or we don't know something, someone swoops in and just gives us the information and has been assisting this right along. And I think that that's why maybe it's a little like, in my heart, because it's happened so quickly.
And with a lot of ease, which means it's like roller skating, right? Instead of walking. So we're like roller skating down the street. And it's like, this is going faster. Oh, maybe this is going a little faster. This is going very fast.
Yeah, so, which is bringing up a little bit of like fear, or maybe a lot of fear. Yeah. And we're both, I think, working through it. In similar ways, and then some in completely different ways. And I think that that's where you're going with the conversation a little bit earlier of like, we're getting exposed right now.
We're getting exposed. We're talking about things that we were not anticipating talking about. We thought we were going to have these light little conversations, and people have turned to us and said, we're loving the conversations you're having about this big stuff, big relationship stuff, big life stuff, the Me Too movement, all of the exposure that's happened. Last week, we ended up suddenly, for whatever reason, talking about abortion. Now,
and if you guys could have seen the look on my face the minute Catherine said it, it was like my jaw fell on the floor because I was just like, where did that come from? We didn't discuss that. Like,
she's talking about her mom dying, and all of a sudden we're talking about abortion.
And my eyes were like this big, and it's okay. But I just, after the fact, I realized like, oh, that brought up a lot of fear for me just with being in the public eye and is somebody going to come after us, or are we going to all of a sudden have people attacking us? And had to get really okay with, well, yes, probably. And then what? And who cares?
And we're the kind of people who believe in the things we believe in. So we're not hiding anything. And we also have a lot of loving energy for the consciousness of Jesus, the consciousness of Buddha, the consciousness that carries someone like Martin Luther King onto the planet and Gandhi. We have Christian roots, we have Jewish roots, we have all sorts of things just between the two of us. We have all
I got Southern roots.
She's got Southern roots. She's got black-eyed peas. But we have every kind of roots within us, and we know that. So we're not trying to make our world smaller. We're trying to make it bigger. And even maybe address people who are within other traditions that don't accept them, give them a place to come listen and talk and wonder about some things because their community is not okay necessarily with what they have to say.
Yeah.
Or not okay with some of the choices they've had to make.
Well, in our communities, people are not going to be okay with everything we have to say.
No, they're not. We already
within my family, they might not.
We know
I might not have all the approval.
Yeah, we've actually had to step aside. That's another thing. So you're running a business, you make a statement, you make a commitment to your baby. And then the only way to really do it is to be authentic with what it is and be in integrity. And our business is our baby and it's us, which means we believe in diversity. We believe in anybody's point of view as long as it's caring and ethical works for us.
But the whole reason you're talking about that, though, is because in this topic of expansion, and this is the moment that we're at right now, is expanding from Krista and Catherine just getting on a microphone and talking, we're expanding into this is the next chunk of our life moving forward. And we get to plan and envision to the best we can. Obviously, we have to allow for spirit to move and guide and shift where we need to. And I know we will do that.
But we have been doing that.
And we have been doing that. But it's like, it's not that we're just sitting back going, oh, we're going to manifest this thing. And if we just make a vision board about it, it's going to happen. Like, no, yes. We do the vision board. And now there's some real world steps that we have to take that I don't know about you, but I started pulling up the form that we need to go to the bank with today, and I'm having a panic attack over it because it's using really big words.
I love big words. I think, Krista, one of the things is a lot of what we talk about is living a spiritual life in a human world. Like, we're human beings living here. So we have to play by what's happening here, which means we need a business account. We need this and that. And when that happens, it brings us into our bodies. And it's like suddenly Krista opens a form. We think it's a bank form. And it's like, what this is going to confront every
Here's your partnership agreement.
What's a partnership agreement? We're not what?
What's the percentage of the voting? I don't know. I want 51%. I'm just kidding.
Good to know, Krista. We'll be fighting about that in the car later. We're on our way to do this today. And we've never thought about a partnership agreement. And it's a banking agreement, but it goes right into who we are.
Like, I can feel it in my solar plexus right now. Yeah, like all of a sudden when you just were saying the partnership and I saw your arms go really big, I was like, oh, my third chakra is firing up right now because it's like, this is real.
Partnership is
real. And, we have talked a lot about our partnerships with men that we've been in relationship with. And our back behind the scenes conversation between the two of us has also been a lot about how we are in partnership together and how a lot of it's very similar to a love relationship, a husband or a boyfriend.
We do have a love relationship, just so you know.
Yes.
But it's not a lover relationship.
No sexy time.
No sexy time together.
So I think both of us have had moments of like, oh, we don't want to be in a relationship with anybody, but then realizing like, oh, but we're in partnership together and now we're going to be a business entity together. And so, oh, we're kind of getting married but wait, I don't want to be married. And it's like, I've just all of a sudden fallen into
a relationship.
Love, not knowing that, oh shit, like there's commitment here.
Yeah. So this is the part of life that's so magical, right? Is that spirit tiptoes in and invites you into something that you're not actually paying so much attention to what it really is delivering. Mm. And for Krista and I think this is true of you. So you say yes or no and I'm done. But we've had a lot of focus on men in our lives and a lot of focus on relationship with men. Mm-hmm. And our fathers and our partners all the way through. And certainly we have relationships with women and mothers, but maybe not as much focus on them.
Right.
And in this thing, all of a sudden we're shifting that our actual real attention right now is on partnership with another woman to make something amazing happen in the world, to really have an opportunity to give back to the whole world, not just women, but to men and women. And what we both love is having a partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think you had the same idea I did, that it was going to be a man. We were going to do a career partnership with a man also.
Yeah. And I think in my past relationships, especially with my marriage, we were such great creative partners, creating content and stuff together. So I always thought that, he would be my creative partner. Now, we created a family and all of that together. Yeah. But this is, this is something totally different. And I think for both of us, it has up-leveled our skills at communicating, because we're like, oh, this isn't a partnership that we can break up or divorce, or, I mean, not that we can. I mean, it's not like we have to be bound here forever doing this podcast, but it's different.
We don't want to.
Yeah, but it's different than a relationship. Like, there's no running from each other. It's, especially in the work we do, it's like, okay, if one of us gets our feelings hurt over something, the temptation is to retreat to our houses and to not talk about it and just to show up the next day to do business and just go on like nothing's ever happened. But what I love about you is that you come to me right away and you're like, I'm feeling tender on this and this is what I felt. And I'm like, okay. And then we have the opportunity to work it and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. Vice versa too.
So important for the longevity of who we're going to be as women and as business owners.
And as partners to men. Mm-hmm. Because as we hone these skills, and possibly because it's another woman and we're in business together, there's a way in which it's a little bit safer than maybe a romantic relationship.
Right.
But all the skills are the same. So we have to be authentic. We have to have integrity. I mean, we're choosing all these things because we want to have we want to give you guys a real partnership this stuff doesn't get written down. This just happens while we're talking. If there was something I was holding back, if I was saying, oh, I'm not giving you that. Mm-hmm. I'm not, Krista's kind of being a little, and I'm like, and we would give you a flat show. There'd be nothing here.
Because there would be tension between us.
Right. And we would be holding, like whenever you're holding something back. So think about this in your partnerships, in your marriages, in your relationships, in your love with your kids, wherever it is. It's like, is there something you haven't told somebody that you're not fully available to what could possibly happen? I think it's Gay Hendricks, I think, he says there's the 10-second sweaty conversation. He calls it.
What's that?
That's the 10 seconds you say what's on your mind.
Is that you only get 10 seconds to say it?
No, it's the 10 seconds that it's scary.
Oh.
And then after that, it opens up into this beautiful, authentic experience. Even if the relationship is over, the freedom is back, the peace is back, the love, the God is back in it, right? Whereas before you were working from scarcity and you were pulling apart, there's no life in that. There's no juice. So your partner's like, where are you? And you're like, what do you mean? I'm fine, right? Anybody ever done that?
You pointed at me?
No. I've never done it. When you point at someone, 4 fingers are pointing back at you. So that's what we're trying to do is we have to give you guys an authentic container or it's useless to all of us.
Right. Have we had a fight? We had
one little fight. We did.
What was it?
It's our first fight.
What was it?
I don't remember.
It didn't last very long.
But it was a little fight. It was a skirmish.
Oh, I know why. Why? Because I didn't return your text quick enough.
No.
I disappeared for the day.
Was that it?
I took the day off. And Catherine's like, you're not responding to my text. Where are you?
No,
I know what you're up to.
I sound like, that's what it was about.
Yes,
it wasn't because she didn't return my text. It was because why she didn't return my text. But
Mama came out. But in that, it was fantastic because...
Oh, I actually remember it wasn't the text. See, this is good stuff. No, it was because we had a planned meeting. We actually had a miscommunication. And the reason the text became the issue was I thought we had planned to text and have a meeting, and she thought we were complete. So she didn't answer my text.
I was busy, y'all.
She was busy. Never mind. Never mind. We'll go there another show. But she was busy. Anyway, it was a little fight. But it was really important that I had said what I needed and that Krista stood for her own power and her own place so that we could both feel it. And then go, oh, no one's wrong here. We just maneuvered. We would just manage this incorrectly. Like, let's be more clear in the future. Oh, okay.
And in the past, something like that with me would have gone on for 6 months. I would have never expressed myself. I would have just kind of kept pushing it down as like, oh, I just won't say anything. It'll pass. But it's like, no.
That would have been so bad.
It's that, it's like a tether that you just hang out there for 6 months instead of just like, okay, the little tether of hurt or whatever was thrown out there. And we were able to just like reel it back in really quickly before we gave it any power.
Really quickly, because that just would ruin us if we let that kind of thing, because we know nobody's ever really wrong, right? There's two sides and there's no way to reconcile it. So there's a hurt feelings, there's a misunderstanding. We can be sorry that there's hurt feelings. We can be sorry for the misunderstanding. But we don't have to make you wrong in order for me to feel better or me wrong in order for you to feel better and be willing.
Right. And the thought I was just having is something around that. Those moments are just like one more opportunity to scare us from moving forward with what we're doing. Because there was a moment in that conversation of like, oh my God, I'm in relationship with Catherine, and now she thinks she gets to tell me where I get to go on my weekend and how to, it was like,
wait, what did you say? You're like, my boyfriend? I thought I could have a day off. That's what she said.
But it was true. It was that moment of like, oh my God, I'm in partnership with somebody, and I'm a commitment phobe.
Welcome. We should have named that's what we should have named our show. 2 commitment phobes. 2 gals on the commitment spectrum.
2 gals who are commitment phobes looking for partnership.
I'm sure there are none of us out there, right, ladies? Right, gents? So I as an aside, I actually got this great quote last year where I was convinced that someone else was the commitment phobe.
Oh.
And then I had to admit that I was the commitment phobe. It was really embarrassing.
I think you mentioned that one on the past episode.
Oh, that's right, because it was Mr. L.
Yes, and not Mr. C. Dun, 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 dun.
Here we go.
Back to these little blocks that come up from keeping us moving forward. The important thing about that is like that happens with everything we try to do in life. Whether it's relationship or parenting, new jobs, changing jobs, or change in general, there's always these little things that try to get under our skin to make us go into fear so we don't move forward.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that the fear of moving forward is pretty natural because it requires expansion. And we have to do enough contraction to do enough expansion. There's just like the universe, our cosmos goes contract, expand, so do our bodies. If we do too much expanding all in a row, it's not good for us. And if we do too much contracting all in a row, it's not good for us. So these little daily things that we think are nothing,
right,
actually bring us into our body, and we're like, where am I today? So the biggest thing that came up for me in the last couple of days was Facebook friends. I have this precious Facebook page. I love it. It's my little Facebook page. I hang out with my friends there. And nobody's mean to each other there. Okay, I just want you to know no one is mean on my Facebook page. And now it's been suggested to me that I open up my Facebook page and really let a lot of people come in. And as that started to happen, I contracted. And then I contracted again. And then I contracted again. So I actually went and saw my most favorite body worker therapy person on the whole planet who can work with me on all 5 levels that I exist on. Heart, body, soul, mind.
Pussy.
Spirit. I'm just kidding. No, he does not work on that department. Nope, that's not his job.
Just meant energetically.
Oh, no, just not. First chakra. All right, first chakra, but not that. Okay. Anyway, nothing personal about that person. He's a great practitioner. Yes. But this was where I went today, just really exploring with him. And this is something that we're going to touch on in our retreats, are how do women and men, actually, because it's not just our physiology, how do we get safe and solid and powerful? So when something comes in that we can feel the destabilizing, like going to the bank for some silly reason, partnership agreements, oh no, I'm giving away my freedom, that we can really hear ourselves and listen and then come right back into our expansion. Take a breath, open up, and then let that come out again. Okay, I'm just going to give myself a little love. Breath and out. So it sounds silly. Like some people think you just get in your car and go to the bank. Well, you do that if you're not paying attention to all the other opportunities that you're being given.
And if the bank might not be a big deal for a lot of people. For us, it's like... What?
No, for us it is.
For us it is. That's what I mean. Like it's going to bring up different material for everybody. So someone listening to this podcast may be like, why are they talking about what a big deal it is to open a bank account? Because it's not about the bank account. It's about what the bank account represents.
Well, it's the partnership agreement. Let's be real. Yeah. We're getting married.
Well, to me, it also means, wow.
Should I get out the champagne again?
Yes, you should. It's like, I think so highly of what we're doing that I think we need a bank account to put all the money that we're going to make into it for this big business that we haven't even built yet. So it's just like I'm buying in this moment.
You're building the business.
I'm buying into the belief that this is something valuable and real and already successful. And I'm believing it so wholeheartedly that I'm now going back and taking the steps of getting it set up.
Absolutely. And that is why it's so big.
Yeah.
We're not pretending it's a small step. It's actually a huge step. It's a step into our future. Tiny little step, it feels like, but it's huge in terms of what it means in the world we're committing. Mm-hmm. So this might not be like the sexiest topic we ever did, but seriously, if you are going to commit to anything, take those tangible steps in the world. Do the steps. Do what's required. Look around. Pay attention. Feel your body. Is this scary for me? Don't say it's stupid, it shouldn't be scary, which we do a lot. It's, why is this scary? Why do I feel vulnerable?
Well, some people might be listening to you going like, what do you mean your Facebook page is scary? But I totally hear what you're saying because it seems like over the last couple of months, it's like every day I get 20 friend requests and 20 friend requests a day. Right. 18 of them are men that I don't know.
Right.
I know. There's that part of me that goes, what do I do with that? Because this is my personal Facebook page where I put pictures of my children. And, in the past, I've only allowed people that I know personally on my Facebook page. And then I have my coaching page, which then I will accept anybody on because I feel like, well, I'm not putting my children's photos and stuff on there.
Right.
But I also see that now I'm creating, in a way, 2 sides of myself. The public side and the personal side. And yet here on this podcast, it's all together. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it all.
Yeah, I don't know how to resolve it either. But I do know that what's happening is we're being invited to expand and we're both having a little bit of a fear reaction from that opportunity to expand. So check it out within yourself, because we can never get bigger if we don't press against the edge of our comfort zone. And, there's a lot of conversation about, push through your fear and And I really honestly don't 100% subscribe to that. I think it's feel your fear, come back into your power, and then take the step. Find the place where you can, and that's not to say
you have to understand where the fear comes from,
and when you're going
to make it dissipate.
Right. And when you're going to walk out on a stage, you're always going to have nerves. That's different than fear of putting a business out in the world. That's different than, there's sort of the bigger piece, and then there's this momentary piece of like, I love being on the stage. I love speaking. I love a crowd of people that can interact with me. It's such a lot of energy. And right before I walk on every time, I just get nervous. I don't throw up. I don't do the classic, like whatever that is. But I do have to take a deep breath. But it's fun. It's part of the excitement. It's, the grease paint, the thrill of the crowd, right? Chris and I are both retired actresses, so.
Well. Okay, I might have run a children's theater, but I never acted. Let's just say that.
You never acted?
Well, I was a wannabe.
My face is like incredulous right now. I have this story that's just been destroyed. This could put our partnership on the line.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just kidding.
I have more of a music and dance background, so that was always my moment of like fraud feeling, I think, running the children's theater, because in doing musical theater, there's the music, the dance, the acting.
And you were music and dance?
And I was music and dance and not the acting.
See, you needed me back then, even you didn't even know it.
I hired people to do the acting, but it was always like everyone just assumed that I came from an acting background. I was like, I've never done anything like that in my life. So, yeah, I might have gotten up on stage and written plays and acted in them, but it was because they were ridiculous, and it's not like I had to be good. I just had to get up there and make an ass out of myself. So
well, congratulations.
That's the kind of acting I did.
And we're still doing that kind of acting. That was actually a little more authentic.
Yeah. Well, very true to me, obviously.
All right. So what we're really saying today is it's an exciting day for us. We love all of you, and we so appreciate that you come to hear us and that you listen and that you bleed with us, and that you cry with us, and that you laugh with us. And I know we're two humans. We know we're two humans doing this. And we know that there's a way in which this is an experience of being a human that we can share with all of us. So we love you for choosing us. We're so grateful for every moment of your life that you spend listening to what we're doing. And we hope that it's enriching your life.
And I just invite all of our listeners to look at where they are wanting to expand a little bit in their life and check in with themselves and see how they feel, and then do it anyways.
Do it.
All right. I love you, Catherine. I'm excited to go down to the courthouse
with you.
We're
going to do our partnership agreement. We're going to the court.
Should we get veils, like wedding veils?
Going to the chapel and we're going to get married.
That was my very weak, sad voice right there. But I had to swallow a big thing.
She just told us she was a singer and dancer. Now she's not a singer either.
I had like a big confused thing of water, like a big, juicy, like spit thing in my throat.
Oh, but my voice sounds really great.
Do we do a do-over? No.
Go into the chapel. We love you all. Spread the love, spread the love, spread the love.
Bye. Do you want the opportunity to see the gals of Holy Fuck in person? If so, go to holyfuckpodcast.com and join our mailing list so you can find out when and where these goddesses will be transforming lives next. And yes, I know, I'm talking about myself in third person. Open your browser, type in holyfuckpodcast.com, click on mailing list, and give us your most trusty email, not that bogus one you give to Walmart. So sign up now. Not tomorrow. Now. Thank you.